I would assume everybody enjoyed the fine meal that we just had, so it was rather exceptional. I'm hoping the wait staff does not take my cheesecake while I'm up here. So, but knowing the people at that table, it's liable to come up missing anyway. It gives me great pleasure to say a few words this evening before introducing some of our recipients of the awards. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here this evening, for investing in Ancilla, investing in our students, and that's what this is all about. It's a belief in the future of the institution, and you people, by being here, I think show that in a very, very positive way, and I, as president, certainly appreciate that. Some of you have a long history with Ancilla, and that is wonderful. I don't have that long history, but I appreciate those of you that do. And I thank you for sticking with the institution and helping us as we move through this era and move into helping make Ancilla an even stronger institution than it is. And it takes people like you to make that happen. I thank you for helping tell what I'd call the Ancilla story. Ancilla has taken great pride in being sort of an incredibly well-kept secret. And there comes a time in history, or a time in the situation where you have to do away with that being the least known institution, but take pride in what we have. And a lot of you are helping us to do that, I think, in a positive way. We have to be aggressive as we do that. I think we have to remain humble, as the sisters have always advocated. I think we have to be humble in our process, but we have to be humble probably in a more aggressive way. And this is one of those events that will help us in doing that. We're proud. I think many of you in here are graduates of the school over the past number of years. We've always been known as an opportunity college, and we're also very, very proud of that. That makes us unique, makes us different. We have a long history of people that have gone through Ancilla that are doing remarkable things in many walks of life. We have people that are medical doctors. We have people that are bankers, bank presidents. We have all kinds of leaders that have got their start at this opportunity school. And it's something that we've taken pride in. We continue to take pride in that. And we continue looking for those types of students that will come there and get things sort of squared around and go out and make a significant difference in their own way. And we take pride in being able to help the students do that. It's a fun thing. It's fun for me as a president to be a part of that type of move. What I do is I want to share a little background for this past year. It's been an exciting year. Not that the whole history hasn't been exciting, but this past year we've seen some new things, some things that I think are very positive, some things that are rather surprising, in some ways even shocking at how they've gone. And I just want to share that with you, so that as you go home, you have a good feel, a good understanding of some of the things that have happened and are happening at your institution. First, we built the first residence hall. As I stand here now, when I stood here last year, being only on board for a few months, we were beginning to think about a residence hall, but we hadn't taken those positive steps to see that it would happen. As you come in the door, there's some pictures over by the door of where the new residence hall is and where the dining hall is that's being built. And at this moment, 1 year ago, that was a cornfield. And you talk about transforming a particular space, it's rather incredible. If you haven't seen it, I just would advocate you find an opportunity to drive by, stop in, whatever, and take a look at that. We opened the residence hall was built to house 92 students. We did not begin to market that until in March, and yet we were going to open it in August. Most people said that was impossible. It turned out, because of a lot of good fortune, some great people to be working with, we were able to open it in August of this year. We thought that we could house 92 students. My hope, which I didn't share with anybody, but my internal hope was that we'd have at least 65 or 70 for the first year. We would reach the 92 in year 2. We opened with 117 in spaces for 92. That meant that every room that male students lived in was tripled. So where there was supposed to be space for 2, we put 3 in there with bunk beds and so forth. I have a daughter. Our oldest daughter is a vice president for student affairs at another institution, and she's built residence halls and involved in that. She says, well, Dad, you'll lose 10 to 15% of them within the first 2 weeks. We're now, 9 weeks, 10 weeks into the semester, maybe more than that, I'm not sure. But out of that 117 that we opened with, we have 114 there yet today, living in that residence hall. Now, I'm disappointed that we don't have 117, but those 3 that are not living in the residence hall are living in town. They felt they couldn't afford the cost of the residence hall, so they're living with friends in Plymouth, but they're still going to school there. That's quite a remarkable testament to not only the building, but the attitude and the types of young people that are coming in and the excitement that has surrounded them. The second thing that we've done, we're in the process of completing a new dining hall recreation complex. The nice wet weather that we had in the spring helped delay us quite a bit there. The water table where Ancilla is located is rather high. If you stub your toe, you hit water. And that's tough when you're trying to put in foundations that go down 4 feet. So we had a little delay there, but that will be completed in December. When students arrive back on campus second semester, they will be eating in that dining hall. And it's designed in such a way that we can keep part of it open 24 hours a day if we desire. And it's a good recreation place for our students. We had an enrollment increase this year of 22%, a little over 22% enrollment increase in 1 year. That's really even more significant than it sounds. 1/3 of the private colleges in the United States did not meet enrollment targets this year. 1/3 did not even meet their target, and we went 22% above. Quite a story when you think about that, and it has to do with attitude. It has to do with excitement. It has to do with many things that all sort of came together at one time. To such a degree that our plan is to add another residence hall for next year. The board has already okayed that. Some of our people that are involved with the building of that residence hall, the first one and hopefully the second one, are here tonight. And I just say if they come in with the right price, then there's no problem. We will be moving ahead. No pressure at all, folks. We'll be moving ahead on that. We have bank support. We have a lot of support to build that residence hall. It's going to be a challenge. Some of you in here, I would hope, will be a part of helping us in the financing of that and funding that so that the students can afford to live there. But again, that would be the same size residence hall for next year. We would hope to fill that and be moving on. Part of the thing that we're looking at as we look to the future would be new academic programs. And we are moving in the direction now of what I would call market-driven. These are programs, these are academic programs that when you graduate, you're either going to be able to transfer or go to work. Mom and Dad, most parents have this strange feeling that when their kid graduates from college, they probably ought to be able to get a job. Sort of weird, isn't it? You spend all that money to send them to college that you would think they should be able to go to work. With the new programs we're looking at will be guaranteeing that type of activity. One, we've already announced, a lot of you read about the agriculture program is beginning in the small stages right now. It'll be going full bore by next fall. We'll be announcing the director of that shortly. That's already done, but that will be a big program. A second will be hospitality and tourism. Again, a very hot program. a great program for 2-year institutions. A third will be sports management. A fourth will be culinary. Hopefully the people out here will be using some of our graduates as time goes on. Those are exciting programs, market-driven programs, programs that students around the country are interested in. And the advantage of having a residence hall is we no longer have to just get students from 15, 20 miles away. All of a sudden, students from Chicago, from Indianapolis, from Fort Wayne, from different areas that wanted to come to Ancilla before, but mom and dad wouldn't let them come there and live downtown. They thought that they ought to have a campus setting. And so that really helps us a lot. It allows us to attract those students, good students. The valedictorians and salutatorians that came in this year, and we normally haven't had those, they're all living in the residence hall. They're all involved in sports, which I thought was unique as well. But those are number 1 and 2 out of the high school. I talked to a young lady just 2 days ago, very interested in coming to Ancilla. She's the salutatorian, will be the salutatorian of her class. And the only key is she wants to live in a residence hall. That's not even a question. So it's exciting. I would just end this before we bring up our first person here. And I just want to say that your support is appreciated. Your support in helping Ancilla thrive, to go from where we are, a strong institution, a good institution, an institution that has a great background, great foundation. Some of you that have graduated from there from some past years are certainly great testimony to that. But it's like any other activity. If you think you can stand still, you're really backing up. So we're not going to back up. We're not going to stand still. We're not going to back up. We're going to move ahead, and that means making some adjustments, doing a few things just a little bit different, and but moving ahead. We have a whole new, it's sort of strange. An 18 or 19-year-old student seems to have more excitement than somebody that's 50. Most of us don't understand it. We don't want to believe it. But when you see them walk in the hall and you see the excitement that is just oozing out of their pores, you understand what that means to a whole environment. That's stimulating to our faculty and staff, it's stimulating to everybody around, and it's stimulating to even our commuting students, many of whom are raising families. All of a sudden you see a new level of excitement even with them. So it's been a fun process, and it's just beginning. And again, I appreciate your help. I assume that you're going to want to help as time goes on and be a part of this incredible institution that is making a real name for itself. And it always has. We're just trying to add on to that and build on what many of you helped establish earlier. So I thank you for that. Thank you for your help and support. And now I have to begin with the Ancilla Award. And so I believe that at this point I would ask John to come on up here and be up here at the beginning. Oh, you stay there. I'll read this citation. The Ancilla Award is given to an individual or couple who has shown distinguished community service and who has been loyal and dedicated supporter of Ancilla College. This year's winner is Mr. John Chandler. Many, many people in this room know John. A 12-year member of the Ancilla Board, serving as board chair from 2003 to 2013, John is vice president of St. Ignatius College Prep in Chicago. You don't have to spend too long talking with John before his love and affection for the poor handmaids and Ancilla College is revealed. He is a tireless worker, always willing to share ideas and resources to help Ancilla College grow. In fact, John has invited 3 tables of family and friends to celebrate with him tonight. Please join me in congratulating John, and I would ask him to please come to the podium now to receive the 2015 Ancilla Award. John? I'm going to make one more comment before you. I'll set this right. I just want to add sort of a side comment to this. I did not know John Chandler until 1 year ago today. On the afternoon of last year's award ceremony, John stopped by the office, and that was the first time I had met him. And I tell you what, I was so impressed, and he was not on the board at that time. I was so impressed in that short meeting with John that I thought, somehow we have to get him back on the Board of Trustees. And so he had an impact on me. He made me feel even stronger about Ancilla than I felt before. And so I thank John for that. That's a personal thing. That's not just a professional thing. That's something personal from the heart to John. So I thank you, and John, you're wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a very humble moment for me to be here and to join the sisters, the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ, Dr. Zirkle, your comments, the board members, friends, benefactors, most importantly, the young men and women who we were introduced to this evening as students. I think all of us are in this room this evening because we are passionate about education. We want to see lives transformed. We believe that we can assist the mission of the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ at Ancilla College through our gifting, through our support. Many of you are colleagues, your workers, your co-workers in the mission at Donaldson, and we are very, very grateful for that support. You know, I'm very, very fortunate, and my family is that we've known the Poor Handmaids in Donaldson since they came in the 1920s, and even before that when they ministered to German immigrants in Chicago in the 19th century. And I can look back, and my siblings will attest to this, we'll look back to see how even as young children we saw the transformations that continued to go on at Donaldson. I can remember when we would go out fishing with our father down at Lake Gilbert, and all of a sudden in the mid-60s we started to see a new building growing and being put into the Mother House complex. A sign of growth, a sign of hope, a sign of vision. Just as we've heard from Dr. Zirkle tonight, the vision that has been built in Donaldson for these past 75 plus years for higher education continues today. And I like to think that each of you are partners. Each of you are investing in a legacy of learning for the young people that we call Ancilla Chargers now, but for the young people that we will continue to welcome to Donaldson for the generations to come. I think what really, for me, and I've been involved in education for 40 years and in faith-based Catholic education, I think that what has always struck me about Ancilla, and some of my best friends from growing up as a teenager in this room this evening that went and graduated from Ancilla College, and I saw what they did with their lives here in Plymouth and beyond the boundaries of Marshall County. But what has always struck me has been the focus on faith, academic excellence, the focus on personal formation, and the way in which lives continue to be transformed. I had a chance this evening to talk to one of the sisters who was just instrumental in kind of making sure that the flame of faith formation for many, many years at the college was held deeply. And I said, "Oh, how are you enjoying your retirement?" And she said, "Well, I'm not really retired." She said, "I tutor our students at Ancilla College in math." And she says, "I'm always staying at least one chapter ahead of them because math continues to grow ever complex." And I thought to myself, look at that sense of commitment, that sense of sacrifice. The Poor Handmaids have given us a model to follow. Mother Mary Catherine set out a focus for us to work with the economically marginalized, to work with those folks that needed that extra push in life. And each of you are colleagues and partners, as the sisters say, in that mission. You know, as we look back to the vision that the leadership has had in those past 75 years, the vision that Sister Joelle had to move the college to opening it to the community as an important resource, the hard work and the leadership of subsequent presidents such as Sister Virginia, who is with us this evening, and others have been a very, very great and important lesson to all of us, that sometimes the smallest deeds, sometimes the smallest gift, and sometimes the smallest sense of encouragement is going to make a difference in the lives of young people. So tonight isn't about me. I know Randy will say the same thing when he comes up here shortly. It's about you as benefactors, as colleagues, as teachers. But most importantly, it's about the future of Ancilla for those bright young men and women whose great hopes and aspirations will be filled and fulfilled in Donaldson and for the future. God bless and thank you for this honor.